In this lesson, you will learn how to write a function in standard form into vertex form by completing the square. Let's look at example number 1. We have y equals x squared plus 10x plus 12. You'll need to complete the square by finding a c value that makes the trinomial perfect square. So rewrite y equals x squared plus 10x plus a blank, that's where our c value will go when it completes the square. Moving over the plus 12, the original c value, we'll then want to subtract whatever number completes the square, because if you add it here to make it the same problem, you'll need to subtract it from here so it's all equal and balanced. So let's find that value. You'll need to know the b value, which is 10 in this problem. In order to find the c value, you take half of that b value and square it. So the c value is half of b squared. So half of 10 is 5, and 5 squared is 25. That is the value that makes this a perfect square. So once you have your perfect square trinomial, it can be factored as 1 parentheses squared. Factors of x squared would just be x, and factors of 25 will be 5. You can also think about it as half of your b will be your factor. That's a quick way to factor a perfect square trinomial. Since we know it is a perfect square trinomial by doing this process of completing the square, we know it can be factored as just x plus 5 quantities squared. Now evaluate what 12 minus 25 will equal. That's a negative 13, so bring down minus 13. So we went from standard form to vertex form by completing the square. Let's look at number 2. We have y equals x squared minus 18x minus 6. So rewrite with plus and minus blanks in the problem. Your plus blank will go after your first two terms to make the new perfect square trinomial, and then bring down your minus 6 and we'll go minus blank, because remember, whatever you add has to be subtracted to keep it equal and balanced. Find your b value, so b in this problem is negative 18, and to find your c, you'll take half of that b and square it. So half of negative 18, and then we'll square it. Well, half of negative 18 is negative 9. When we square a negative 9, be sure to use parentheses. That gives us a positive 81. Because a negative number squared is like a negative times a negative, that makes it positive. So 81 is the value that completes the square, makes that a perfect square trinomial. When you add it here, you'll need to subtract it from the original c value, again, to keep it equal and balanced. So that first 3 terms is factorable now that it's a perfect square trinomial. It will factor as 1 parentheses squared. X, because our b term is negative, we'll say minus, and then 9, because of half of your b would have been negative 9. And then combine the like terms, negative 6 and negative 81 gives us negative 87. So we've gone from standard form to vertex form by completing the square.